Hey everybody, this is Ryan and Angela from LostReviews.com, and this is Blue Monday. First up on Blue Monday, we have Tiny Furniture.
From Criterion.
Yeah, I was able to see this movie when it premiered at South by Southwest in 2010, 2009?
2010, I think.
Yeah, 2010. It's a really good movie. It's not the first film from the director, but it is, the first one that kind of took off.
Her first big feature.
Yes, it's a kind of a biopic about her life.
Which is so sad.
Yeah.
I would never want to live her life.
This is the first time you've seen the film.
Yeah, I didn't really know anything about the film, kind of going in blind. I mean, a film called Tiny Furniture, that doesn't give it away at all what's going on. And, yeah, basically she's a postgraduate that's coming home to her family who apparently all hate her because she's the different one. She's the black sheep of the family, but she's, she's graduated from college. She's doing great for herself, but now she has this degree. I don't even know what it was, but she had to go start working as a waitress because obviously she can't get into, what is it, directing or art or something.
Yeah, I mean, she makes like little films for YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's
right. Wants to get her kind of art career going off, and she does it through visual expression art, and eventually would one day, maybe want to make some films and stuff. And Lena Dunham is the director, and I mean, there's interviews on here where she's basically talking about like that video was real, and she was really worried that people would find it and stuff, so I'll just put it in the movie. And
oh,
yeah,
like she really put that on YouTube. And
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it was an embarrassing video, I would think.
Right, and the comments.
It's art. It's supposed to be art, but then it's also the movie's trying to say like what really is art.
Right.
Maybe everything is art. Maybe nothing is art. And
exactly.
But the thing that just made this film so uncomfortable for me to watch and probably make me never want to watch it again is the characters are so vapid and so
pretentious, yeah.
Pretentious and so full of themselves, and they're just all assholes. She's the only real character in the film that has a heart, that has emotions, that can feel things. And then one of her friends, this gorgeous blonde-haired woman who in the beginning I think, oh, another vapid asshole, she turns out to be the only person in the film who ever shows any interest in her life.
Right, and I think it says a lot for the film that everybody thinks that the blonde girl is the crazy girl because, she acts wildly and stuff, but really she just doesn't care what other people think.
Yeah, and that starts to shine through, and you start to appreciate that with her because she actually likes her for who she really is, and they're actually true friends. So I don't know, it speaks a lot about society today, I guess.
Yeah, it's a great dramatic narrative
about the internet culture, I guess you could say, because there's a lot of people meeting up because they saw each other on the internet, and just there's so many assholes in this film.
Well, my favorite kind of movies are coming of age movies, like Almost Famous and stuff like that. This is like that, but more in the tone of like, say, a Woody Allen or something like that.
Yeah.
So, Tiny Furniture was also one of the very first films to come out and shoot on the Canon.
Oh, it was?
So, yeah. So, I mean, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does, definitely.
I mean, you can't tell. So, also, she will have her TV show premiere down at South by
It's an
this
HBO
year.
show, right?
Yeah, it's called Girls.
It's a comedy?
Yeah, I mean, Tiny Furniture is considered a comedy. I wouldn't consider it a comedy.
Tragedy.
Yeah. The special features are great on here. You get her short film, her first narrative, and it's just packed with stuff. I mean, you're getting
definitely.
3 movies in one.
Lots of interviews I saw in there.
Yeah, tons of interviews. Great Blu-ray.
Very
I highly
well
suggest.
Put together.
Yeah, everybody check this out. I like it when Criterion puts out these indie films.
It interests me that they picked this up because they normally put out Criterion films for films that have been out for years.
Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting that I see the list of what's coming out this year. Oh, Tiny Furniture, that would just
right. So when they pick films like Fish Tank and Tiny Furniture, then it's definitely you have to see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would still recommend seeing it, even though I was completely depressed during the film and I felt so sorry for her. I just wanted to reach through and hug her. I would still recommend seeing it at least once.
I love it.
So, okay, next up on Blu-ray, Anonymous, the film about Shakespeare. Or maybe someone else wrote all the Shakespeare.
Yeah. Or maybe Anonymous wrote all the Shakespeare stories. This is a very controversial movie, and I think that's kind of why it got such a bad rap. It's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is it really?
Yeah, which I kind of find shocking.
I
thought it was well put together.
I thought so too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Oscar caliber, but it's an enjoyable story, and if you can, get your head out of your ass and maybe accept that...
Maybe it was hard to follow for them.
Well, no, I think a lot of people were like, no, Shakespeare wrote all this stuff. How could you degrade the man and stuff? I mean, come on, man. It's a movie.
It is. It's a story. It's supposed to just kind of wake your brain up for a minute and say, oh, maybe he didn't actually write that.
Right. I mean,
it just points out an interesting fact of history that maybe we've overlooked. Who knows? Maybe this is completely facetious. Maybe it's actually the truth and it's all been revealed here.
Right. I mean, it's totally interesting. And for those people, you kind of want to say to them, like, an alien didn't come down from space and meet the little boy Elliot either. So E.T. isn't a true story either. And, I mean, just take Anonymous for what it is. The story of this wealthy man that wants to get out there and put his plays in the playhouses, but can't do it because it's considered like a sin by the court. And
by the church, really.
And he does it through this actor, Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So it gets all twisted, and you get, it's
other people getting involved, people getting hurt from it.
Using the plays as propaganda and trying to incite riots, and just, it's just an interesting movie. It does drag a bit in the middle, and the end kind of takes a little bit more time that I would want to draw out. But to
get to the conclusion to me. I was watching it kind of halfway doing other things, and this is a movie that you need to dedicate your full attention to. Because I kept having to stop and go, wait, what's going on?
Yeah, and I had to pause it and be like, well, this guy is this, and this, they're trying to do this, and you didn't know that was his son. Yeah, so
yeah, don't give anything away in the movie, because there are some really shocking things, I think, that are surprising at the end. But it's a really enjoyable watch, and it's really well filmed. The lighting, I thought, was particularly
it's beautiful.
Special in that, because it's filmed in the Dark Ages, so everything's really dark and gloomy and muddy, and you could still see a dude laying in the mud dead. You could still see, like, details on a wooden wall. So they did a really good job putting this into high definition.
How the film starts, though, as a play transitioning into a movie was pretty much jaw-dropping to me.
I liked that.
It was beautiful. It's got some great special features, too, so definitely check those out. I would suggest you rent Anonymous. I would suggest rent it also. Yeah, definitely see it. Definitely. And this is Region ABC. Yes. All right. Next up. Let's do this. My favorite movie. I think you should really take this time to defend yourself Rum Diary. For your review here and kind of explain it, because you have got a lot of crap on the website on your review for the Rum Diary. And your favorite thing in the world is on the front. The thing I just absolutely despised in the film, the jeweled turtle, and they have to put it on there. You're going to need to come in after me and explain what the special features are in here, because you said it helped you explain it more. Yep. But coming from a person who has read the book multiple times, big fan of his work, Hunter S. Thompson, this wasn't a Hunter S. Thompson film. Well, explain what the book is and then explain what the movie is, like the two stories. Well, the book is Hunter S. Thompson as a young writer trying to make it. He's going from place to place, and he starts out in New York and flies to Puerto Rico to take up this new job at the only English-speaking newspaper in Puerto Rico, and he finds a small group of guys that he starts to get along with, and they wreak havoc on the town as they're trying to just do stories, and he's just a working man. It's very like straightforward at times, but then he goes out and he'll drink too much and have fun partying. There are no drugs in the book. It's only alcohol. That's why it's called the Rum Diary. And there's no jeweled turtle. There's no evil plot twists with corporate businessmen trying to take over the island. I mean, there is a rich man that he does business with. He considers an acquaintance, almost a friend at times, but they combined two characters in the film and made this acquaintance of his also his like best friend, and then he turned him into the evil corporate enemy. And it just, for someone who was a fan of the book, coming in wanting to see this portrayed as I saw in my mind, there was one entire scene in that movie where when it played out, I thought, this is exactly how I pictured it, and it was towards the beginning. But then other than that, they just put a bunch of cockfighting in the film, and I don't even know why. There's no cockfighting in the book. I mean, they could have done that for, you know, entertainment value or kind of to show kind of lifestyle in Puerto Rico, to do stuff like that. But what I got from the special features, which there is a great one if you love the Rum Diary, if you love that book, I'm going to suggest you buy this.
If I love the book, buy this?
I'm sorry, but there's a great documentary on here where it shows Hunter S. Thompson putting the book back together and adding new parts and basically writing the Rum Diary.
Writing the film?
Yeah, in his kitchen with everybody.
Do
like
you
his
hear
editor.
him say, "Let's add a jeweled turtle" at any point?
No, you were obsessed with his jeweled
No, I'm just
turtle.
using that as an example, but do you hear him say, "I think we need a lot of cockfights in this film"?
No, it's not about the film. They're writing the book. He's not writing the script.
Right.
Not talking about.
So okay, so him talking about the book, it really
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with the movie.
Right. So it's a great documentary
Okay.
on here, and it's very lengthy.
Well, that's good.
And then the other is Johnny Depp kind of talking about why they made the film and stuff like that. And I felt like Angela did when I very first saw the Rum Diary. I felt like, okay, this film, nowhere near the book, kind of a travesty because they built it up so much as this kind of homage to Hunter and stuff, and even at the end they show a picture of Hunter and born and dead and all that kind of stuff. But I get it now. I understand it. It isn't the Rum Diary. It has that title, but it's more of to show people who Hunter really was and to show where he came from and how he became the person that he was. So that entire thing in the end when he goes and takes
big
on...
long spiel?
Yeah.
But I still don't like that. If you want to know who Hunter S. Thompson is, read the damn books. Yeah. You're going to get a perfectly clear picture of who he was then. I can read one book and know who the damn guy is. I watched this movie, which is like over 2 hours it seemed like. It's a really long movie. And you're just sitting there the whole time going, what is this crap? This isn't about Hunter S. Thompson. This isn't even a film that looks like Johnny Depp would be into. It's just this weird hodgepodge of weird tiny little stories put together, and they throw it all on a tropical island to try and like glamorize us with the prettiness of it. And that was another problem I had, is this film and this book is supposed to be set in, I think, 1967, and besides seeing some loafers and like a blazer on Johnny Depp, nothing else in the film feels from that time.
Yeah. No, I mean, I kind of feel it, but I can see where you're coming from. I was disappointed with the lack of sex in the movie.
Yeah,
there's
that was
a lot
big
of
thing,
sex
too.
in the book, and they kind of pushed it back, and I have a feeling that was just because this was a shelved picture, and it was so hard to get out, and in the beginning, I mean, there was a ton of sex in the script.
That didn't end up on here?
What?
They filmed some of those scenes because there was this big ordeal about getting women to play that part because they had to do the sex parts, and then she agreed to do it, and then they never showed up in the film. Like, not even a side boob, I'm serious. It was like ridiculous how much they cut it out. And there was supposed to be sex on the beach, there was supposed to be sex in the ocean, there was supposed to be sex on beds, sex in showers, all kinds of sex going on. Not that I need to have that in a film to make it good, but the fact that I was expecting at least some sort of a connection between the two characters, and I get nothing but like a, that's really hard to grab onto and like feel any kind of connection for, so.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest that you rent the Rum Diary and create your own opinion. I mean, if you're a fan of Hunter S. Thompson, you have to buy this to get the documentary because it is so good.
That's the only place I can find it, too?
I'm pretty sure that's the only place you can find it.
Okay.
I mean, it was a slick idea by them to get the fans that hated the movie because it ruined it with an awesome documentary about the writing of the book.
That's how they're going to try and get him. It's not going to get me!
Yeah, so if you
I'll
love
watch
Hunter,
it and check it
you
out.
have to see this documentary.
I love seeing documentaries about him because he's such a cool dude, but that's not going to make... That wouldn't make me buy the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Because I despise the film so much, I would never go out and buy a film because of one little feature. I would just find a way to find that feature somewhere on the internet or something.
Alright, let's move on. Here at Lost in Reviews, we really like to push indie artists and indie films and first-time filmmakers and stuff like that. And this releasing, it came out last week, 5-star day, premiered. It was one of YouTube's movies to rent.
Oh, really?
When they were doing that, so it came out on there. The film is about a guy who is trying to disprove astrology. So his girlfriend that is really, really into astrology breaks up with him, and on his birthday he comes in and sees her sleeping with another guy on the kitchen counter.
Oh no.
And, you know, while all his balloons and birthday banner are up. So...
Have they broken up already?
No, this is why they break up.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's on his birthday, and then his car gets towed. Just really, really bad day for him.
It's not a 5-star day for him?
No, not a 5-star day. And so he comes up with this idea because he has to do this project for school and he has to get an A on it or he's going to flunk out of school, to go out and find people that were born in the same hospital as him, born on the same day, and find out, you know, how their birthday was. You know, because...
What if he finds out they were switched at birth?
Oh no, that's exactly what happened.
Is it really?
No.
No.
So he goes through, and as it turns out, everybody's having a bad day that same day. Pretty much like the worst day of everybody's life is happening on that day. So they all had this horrible day. So it goes in, and I wanted it to be kind of a strong ending of finding out what, you know, he believed and finally happened, but it kind of leaves it open-ending, and he doesn't really grab on to whether he believes astrology or, you know, doesn't take any faith in it.
He has to believe in some part of it. If he's going and finding all these people that are born on the same day as him, they're the same astrological sign, and oh wow, we're all going through the same stuff together.
Right.
So there has to be
some
part of
that's
him.
what the movie, you know, kind of shows you, that, you know, they want you to think that, oh man, yeah, now this shit's real. But then in the end, like throughout the entire movie, he's like, all this shit's bullshit. And then in the end, he just kind of leaves like an open-ended answer. He's supposed to have this big speech to the class, and the speech just doesn't really grab you.
Did he get the A?
I don't know.
You don't know if he gets the A?
I'm pretty sure he did. I mean, come on, he flew all over the country to find these people. You get an A.
You better get an A for that.
So the movie is okay at times. There's a lot of lagging parts, and some of the acting is a little subpar.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you about acting, since it's such
an
indie film.
There's some really good stuff in here. There's a lot of pros and a lot of cons. Most of being that they have some bigger actors that just have smaller scenes in it, and that just doesn't make sense to you when you see it. But you can see that they obviously read Chris Gore's Film Festival Handbook and get big name actors on there, so you can put them on the sleeve, even if they're in there
cover
for like 2 minutes.
But
you know, Jenna Malone and Cam, I can't remember how to say his last name. Yeah, but they're in the film. Legitimate kind of bigger actors in the film, do a really good job. They have a nice romantic story. I would suggest that you give it a shot, check it out, maybe rent it on the YouTubes.
On the YouTube, is that where they could find it? Is this gonna be?
No, you can find this like on Amazon and stuff like that. One thing that I do have to say for this DVD, and why I'm giving it a rent it, is this thing is filled with tons of special features for a DVD, and it includes Danny Boudet's, I really hope I get his name right, short film Dependency, which is a cool short film about this rock star who dealt with drugs and his girlfriend overdosed, and then he has to go put on this big show, and she was the drummer, and now he can't just get that out of his mind.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so I enjoyed the short film a lot better than I did.
More than the actual film?
The actual film.
Wow, then you like his talent. Maybe he just needs to...
He can continue making films. I think if he gets a bigger budget, then he's on track. 5-Star Day isn't a bad film, it's just not a great film, and check it out if you have time.
Okay.
Alright, that is it from us here at LostReviews.com, and we will see you next week.